Well, yes, the ROA number really impressive, Alex, when you're looking at it. Clearly, the number looks very, very strong. You've done over 1.1% in ROA 2 consecutive quarters. It's a number which seems to clearly reflect the strength at the bank. In terms of NPA ratios as well, coming off in a quarter when otherwise you're seeing pressure with regard to asset quality across the board, it's clearly looking much better than what one can anticipate. Now, in terms of where the NII number is, it's coming at 41,620, and therefore that the NII number also coming slightly, or rather pretty much in line. So they've been able to maintain that margin number, I believe, of around the 3.2% mark. So not looking too bad even with regard to margin compression. It seems like, of course, further detail awaited with regard to some of those numbers.
Us those details. It seemed that way to me as well. In fact, evident because you have such a significant beat on the profit number and you have a contraction in the asset, or rather an improvement in the asset quality. Net interest income increasing by as much as 5%. The provisions standing at 4,506 crore rupees or thereabouts, and we were looking at the numbers not too long back. So let me tell you what was expected on the provisions number, slightly higher than anticipated. The expected number was about 3,700 crore rupees. So the provisions coming in at just over 4,000 crore rupees, slightly higher than expected. But Aditya Shah, founder of Hercules Advisors, joining in at this juncture to talk to us about the numbers and what he makes of it. Aditya, just the initial snapshot coming through for State Bank of India, a profit number that is a significant beat at over 18,000 crore rupees. The provisions higher than expected, 31% higher, where it was expected to rise about 7%, but an improvement in asset quality, both on the gross NPA and the net NPA side. Net profit, once again, I'm telling you, at 18,300 crore or thereabouts, significantly higher than expected. What do you make of the numbers?
Hi, good afternoon, Alex. I see that the numbers are really very stable as it can get. From my perspective, the biggest concern across all banks this quarter has been the slippages that we have seen on the microfinance side of it, and smaller banks have continued to struggle. Although SBI's slippages have increased a little bit at about 4,000 or 4,500 crores, still there is an improvement in the net and in the gross NPA and consequently in the net NPA per se. So the numbers are very stable per se. From the presentation when it gets uploaded, we need to understand the loan growth, the deposit growth, and the movement in SMA 1, 2, 3. However, on the first look, it seems that the results are very, very stable. There's nothing to complain about, and as is the trend, that all large banks, particularly private sector and public sector banks, are starting to do well, and the real pain is within the smaller private banks and NBFCs.
I'll come back to you, Aditya, in just a bit. Harsh, coming back to you for some more numbers. I'm also noting there's a significant increase in the other income, which is stood at, I believe, about 15,270 crore rupees. Did you see that as well?
Yes, absolutely, Alex. In fact, that's led to the operating profit beat that we're seeing on the screen. 29,000 crore of operating profit that SBI has clocked, likely the highest ever in terms of operating profit that the bank has clocked. And what you've essentially therefore got is a very high base with regard to operating profit, which is aiding the provisions number, which is elevated, which has spiked up, and spiked up of a low base, in all fairness, Alex, because the balance sheet of SBI is just that large, right? And therefore, in all fairness, that's how it's really playing out. Even in terms of growth, and maybe Aditya, if he's listening to me, and maybe he can give a perspective as well. Deposit growth slightly on the softer side. It's come in at roughly 51.2 lakh crore is where the deposit base is currently at, and your loan base is currently at roughly 38.5 lakh crore. It was expected expected to be at 38.8 lakh crore as per our poll. It's come in at 38.6 lakh crore versus also the deposits expected at 50.5. It's come in with a beat on the deposit count at 51.2. So the deposit growth is stronger, and despite that, they've been able to largely maintain margins, at least basis the numbers in front of my screen. It seems like they've been able to maintain margins.
Harsh,